My goodness. And there it is. Wow. Get the pin to go.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for the pregame to the Stepladder Finals of the 2021 PWBA Louisville Open, taking place at Executive Strike and Spare in Louisville, Kentucky. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are so excited to bring you this championship round. The 4 of the top 5 players on tour so far this season have advanced. We're going to have an opening match featuring Missy Parkin taking on Shannon O'Keefe, the 2-time reigning PWBA Player of the Year. The winner of that is going to take on Julia Bond, the 2-time winner, the breakout star of 2021, who is the overall points leader this season. And the winner of the semifinal will take on Dasha Kovalova, the defending champion at the Louisville Open. Last time we saw her in the title match at this center, she shot 300, folks, 300. It was an amazing moment, and we're ready for another amazing moment here. She's looking to defend her title. She has been running away from the field. Can she win one game to claim her 4th title overall, 2nd of the season? As we get ready for this pregame show, though, our players are warming up, getting ready for the festivities upcoming. We're going to bring in our team that's going to be calling the action. You guys are in it for a treat. We're going to have Dave Lamont and the Hall of Famer Carolyn Doran-Ballard bringing you the action throughout the course of this Stepladder Finals. We're going to have some giveaways as well, exclusively on Bowl TV, folks, so be sure to sign up. But let's meet the crew here. Let's bring in Dave Lamont first. Dave,
Aaron, how are you?
Back.
Yeah, we're very happy to be here. So what is Dasha going to do for an encore? You can't, I mean, can she do this again? Would be an absolute miracle. It would have to be the first time anyone's ever done that. But that's asking a lot, obviously. But you mentioned the people in the stepladder. Look at the people who didn't make it, who could have. Liz Johnson, who was the runner-up last year, was in the top 12. Kelly Kulik, who looks like she's on good form again. Liz Culkin, Brianna Clemmer. These are people we've all seen so far this summer on Bowl TV and in the spring. Danielle McEwen making a move down, Diana Zavjalova. I mean, it was a stacked group out of 73. I think the thing I'm looking for, and I'm dying to hear what Carolyn has to say about this, is Missy Parkin has been so close to getting back to winning. And we talked about that at the Queens. We talked about it a couple other times. When is she going to break through? And look, she's in the first match. She has to take on Shannon O'Keefe. It's going to be tough just to win that one. But I think that's as big a story to me is when is Missy going to break through? Because she has had a solid season so far in every aspect except getting a W.
Well, let's hear from Carolyn right now and bring her into the broadcast, the Hall of Famer, the 20-time titleist, CDB. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Aaron. Hey. Hi, Dave. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Okay. So what is my take on this? Actually, I have 2 takes. Let's start with Missy. First of all, you're not in the top 4 in point or top 5 in points if you're not consistent, doing the right things, and again, constantly knocking on the door. And Missy has always been a fierce competitor. There's something that's just keeping her from breaking through. And what I mean by that is, I think once she opens that door, I think it's going to continue to go. And I do think at this point, when you're making 4 shows and still not quite getting to where you want to be, you do tend to put a little bit of pressure on yourself. You don't try to, but that little voice is still in the back saying, oh, okay, come on, is it going to be my week? And I think she has truly put that in perspective and puts that at bay. Yet I do think there is a little bit of pressure, and I think she needs to continue to just keep doing what she's doing, and things will start to go her way. On the other hand, she's bowling Shannon O'Keefe. Now, there's a couple of things. Shannon, of course, has always been known as the one. She's the one you want to jet after. She's the one at the top. She's the one that's always going to get on the lanes. Throw the shot when she needs it. Now, if you've seen the last few shows Shannon has been on, though, she's had a little trouble adjusting to the lanes. She's getting up. She has not made the quality shots, and this would be in Shannon O'Keefe's own voice, not the quality shots that we have seen out of a Shannon O'Keefe. Now, why do we think that's occurring? I think there's a few things going on. Shannon now is in her 40s. There is a big array of young talent coming out on tour that hooks the ball and has a higher rev rate than we've seen in the last 5 years. So things are changing, the lanes change, transition is quicker. So I think you're starting to see some of these bowlers deal with other issues besides just getting up and throwing a shot.
You know, I hadn't even thought about that. And you talk about the youth. There's Julia Bond in the number 2 position, who the reigning USBC Queens champion, the points leader for Player of the Year. Carolyn, what has been her secret to her successes so far this season?
Julia Bond's success is just the way she talks, just the way she bowls. We had her on our Kicking Back podcast last week, and this is how she put it. I do me. I am simple, point A to point B. It's simple. I practice on the off time, keeping it simple. I want to repeat. And if I do those things to the best of my ability, I will be in the winner's circle. You cannot keep it any more simple than that. She doesn't put any extra pressure on herself. And as a matter of fact, Dave, you brought up a great point. Again, these girls are in the top 5 in points. Julia's one of the hottest bowlers right now. She's comfortable with all the decisions she's making. She's comfortable with her equipment. She's comfortable with the way she's throwing it. And her mental game is at its top right now.
Aaron, let's see. Keep it simple. Just do you. Does that sound like somebody who's sitting in with us right now? Her formula for success? That sounds just like the way Carolyn's game is.
I would think so.
well, in my day, but
I'm serious. You did. And you still do. That's what I thought of when you were talking about her. I thought, geez, we could be talking about you in that same vein, because that's what you were known for. That and your tenacity and the ability to call up a big shot when you needed it. And we haven't even mentioned our overall leader, Carolyn. Let's talk for a second about the old cliche about horses for courses. So Dasha goes through Executive Bowl and kills it last year, throws the 300 to win it all, and now here she is again. And again, in a city that loves its horse racing in Louisville, she has just secretariated her way through qualifying anyway. Can you just talk a little bit about why some houses work so well for certain people?
I think one of the great qualities about Dasha is she's so physically talented, and she just lets the ball come off her hand, right? Yet on the other hand, I still think Dasha doesn't think she's a great bowler. And I think that's what keeps her back on certain weeks, because I talked to her in Reno. So I'm not saying anything I haven't chatted with these ladies about. And she says, well, I'm just so glad to be here. I mean, I can't believe I'm sitting with certain bowlers, and I'm going, you're great. You are a PWBA champion. Walk like it, talk like it, just be it, Yet you come to these bowling centers that you are familiar with, where you won, where you did great things. And when you walk in that bowling center, that aura takes over. And I think that's what Dasha does. She walked in this week and said, this is my place. I did some amazing things here, and I'm going to take advantage of it. Not only that, it is true. Sometimes ball roll matches up, or your carry is better. You just have this comfort level, and that's what you're seeing here this week with Dasha.
Do you have one or two places that you recall that were super magical for you?
Yeah, I do. I have a few. Princess Lanes in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Very much so. And I think anytime I bowled in Texas, and I'm very fortunate to say that, because sometimes it's tough to bowl in front of your hometown crowd. And I have to tell you, I had a lot of success in Texas. So thank you for all the Texas fans that rooted me on.
Well, and of course, that's where you and Dell make your home also. So it's
Right.
a home game for you in a lot of ways. It has to be
Exactly.
comfortable. What have you seen about what do you expect today? High scores, low scores, somewhere in the middle? What are you looking for?
You know, I always make a joke. I say to Dell, why didn't I bowl this week? Because the cut was a little bit lower. I bowl when the cut's 200 over. I expect high scores from these ladies anyway, because again, you don't make the show by not figuring it out, number one. Number two, usually equipment wise, they are over prepared for the TV show. Even though they keep it simple, there's always that plan B, possibly that plan C, if you see how the lanes are breaking down and it's a little bit different. I also think you are seeing 4 ladies who are right now, I mean, at the top of their game. Again, they wouldn't be in the top 5 if they weren't, and I mean in points and in standings. So I think we are going to see some good shot making. What I'm looking for, Dave, though, is if you've seen over the last few weeks, one lane has been the deciding factor in the matches. Remember last week we mentioned how they had people finishing, and I'm thinking I would have never had her finishing on this lane. So I think the person that makes the quickest adjustment on the lane that's transitioning quickly will be the winner.
I think it's just about time, Aaron, to get going on this. Our opening match is a spectacular one. You've got major champions going at each other. And they're lined up right next to each other right now. Shannon O'Keefe on the right and Missy Parkin on the left.
That's right, folks. So for everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube, we appreciate you stopping by for the pregame show. It is time to head over to bowltv.com right now, pick up your subscription, watch, and once again, the giveaways. We are giving away 3 bowling balls today, so you have to do that on bowltv.com. If you're on bowltv.com, thank you. We're ready to go. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of the Stepladder Finals at the Louisville Open.
We'll need a full set of pins here on lanes 15 and 16. Again, Missy Parkin is going to begin our opening match of the PWBA Louisville Open. All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for our opening match? Here we go.
And you may have heard Tennille Milligan welcome the players and welcome you. And we are at Executive Strike and Spare in Louisville with Carolyn Doran Ballard, the Hall of Famer. I'm Dave Lamont. And 44 feet, the pattern here. So we've seen all sorts of patterns. The last time I was around a couple weeks ago was a super short pattern. This one, obviously, 8 feet longer. Missy Parkin will begin at the number 4 seed on the left lane. And she loved it right off the hand, a little fist elbow pump. And Missy, her 4th championship round appearance of this season. And Shannon O'Keefe, her 3rd straight Stepladder Finals appearance. Kelly Kulick beat her in Albany in the final. She was 3rd and lost to the eventual winner, Verity Crawley, in Nashville. So is this Shannon's week to break through with yet another win, which would be her 15th since the relaunch of the tour in 2015. Well, they are both off to outstanding starts and an enthusiastic gathering at Executive Bowl as well.
2 great shots to start with Missy and Shannon. Interesting to see when I was watching warm-up, I already noticed that the left lane seems to be hooking just a little bit earlier. When Missy got up, it seemed like she made that parallel move left, threw it a little bit harder. And what the feedback I'm also getting is that this left lane, even though it hooks earlier, it seems like there's a little more hang down lane, or it seems a little tighter because it's hooking so much in the front part.
Well, there was a good example of what you just spoke of, Carolyn, right there. Just a hair high for Shannon to leave that single pin.
Great shot. As you can see out of both ladies, the angles are a little bit smoother in the front. And what I mean by that is we have not seen a lot of patterns where they have to just throw it all the way to the right. You really have to play the front part of the lane and make sure that your ball is reading the end of the pattern at the right place.
Going straight at it, no trouble for Shannon. And Missy Parkin will make her debut on the right lane in this match. These two have met on Bowl TV already this year in a stepladder final in the Boulders Journal Classic earlier in the year. Shannon O'Keefe got the victory there. And Missy has been a runner-up twice, including the Queens, to Julia Bond, who is the number 2 seed and awaits the winner of this match. Missy has just been so close. Flush and a double for Parkin.
That's a great shot to see off of Missy's hand right here. She's using a big asymmetrical ball with some surface. And like we talked about, Dave, to blend out that pattern, especially if the ball, if the lane is breaking down in the front, you don't want to have to open your angle too much because, again, on the left lane, they're saying that once they get it too far right, it almost looks like it's just, there's hang down lane. So the bigger ball on the surface is allowing Missy to blend out the pattern and use her ball speed to her advantage.
Well, she's been animated on those first few strikes. She seems to know that she's dialed in at least early on in this match against O'Keefe. So you have the winningest player since the relaunch of the tour in 2015 right there, and Missy Parkin, who incredibly has not won since the tour came back. Her biggest win, of course, the USBC Queens in 2011. And that is, strangely enough, her only title, which is really remarkable, as great a player as she is, an international experience, Team USA experience. So she's been a winner, just not in the PWBA yet. And a great look at the trip on the 7. And you're looking at
Shannon playing just a little bit further left than Missy. Ball's getting down the lane before it makes that move to the pocket. Again, though, everybody's played in on this pattern between that 15, 22, 23 area. But again, almost using that 8, 9, 10 as the gutter, not trying to get it way right down lane.
Well, that was a good-looking shot, I thought, Carolyn. She collapses the 4-9, and it's left. I wouldn't necessarily call that a stone 9, but looks to me like a bad break.
This was just a high flush stone 9. Yes, that's
okay,
what it is.
Was.
High flush 9. Great shot. She is definitely lined up on both lanes, as is Missy. But again, these are the small things right here. And I know it's early in the game, but these are the small breaks you need when we talked about Missy trying to break through, right? Still hasn't won a title since the relaunch of the tour. And those are the breaks you look for out of your opponent to help, I don't want to say, loosen you up a little. But hey, look, when you get a TV show, 10 frames, there's a little luck that comes involved.
Wow, kind of a quiet 10-pin ends her run of the front 3 for Missy Parkin, who in the overall points race is 3rd behind Julia Bond, who leads by roughly 3,000, a little bit less than that over Shannon O'Keefe, who has about an 8,000-point lead over Missy Parkin. Then Liz Johnson, who finished 7th this week, is 4th, and Dasha Kovalova, who's our number 1 seed, is 5th. And you can already tell, Carolyn, even though we're only 4 frames into this match, this is going to be close. It looks like neither player is ceding any ground. They have good looks. The shots have been good. This could come down to some little thing or to a good or a bad break to determine the winner.
Right. And, we talked about this from week to week. Again, one lane has always been the deciding factor. Right now, both lanes look pretty nice, even though I have gotten feedback that left lane is hooking earlier. So again, They're 4 frames in. Transition is taking place. Missy's ball went down the lane just a little bit further, so she may just make a small move or slow up the speed just a little bit.
And ball. Oh, I think she fully expected that, and frankly, so did I. And so she's left with the same 4-pin that Shannon O'Keefe was stuck with a few frames back. And Missy is normally not very animated on the lanes. She is certainly one of the more pleasant people around off the lane, very competitive on, naturally. But she has been a bit animated today, Carolyn, especially on that left lane. And she's also not afraid to show she's a little disgusted with the way that frame turned out.
Right. Well, I mean, she's allowed to. She is always smiling. I mean, I've always said that. I can say this, and I'm sure, Dave, you noticed. I big 4, I stone out. There'll be no smiling for me. There's no smiling for CDB. But Missy always does seem very positive, and I channeled my energy a little differently.
It worked out, Carolyn. It worked out. O'Keefe, beautiful shot. You got a great look at the pocket being collapsed by Shannon O'Keefe in a very close match through 5.
Another fantastic shot by Shannon. Both ladies just repeating shot after shot. And again, whoever's watching, so this is another example of it's 44-foot pattern, and the lanes are going to tell you how you need to play the pattern. And as you can see, you don't always need that big hook on the back end to knock the pins down. Calming the pattern down with how you throw the ball and your ball motion is the way to success.
No, she stood up on that, and she'll take a Brooklyn strike. Won't be happy about it, but she let that one. What happened on that shot there, Carolyn?
I was going to see if we could see a replay. It looked like she got just a little quick, and as you could see, when her arm was coming down, it almost closed down on it just a little bit quicker than she normally does. She missed way left on that, just overturned it, and although she got the break with the Brooklyn, I'm sure Shannon will get right back on it next frame.
And I mentioned earlier, with this match being so close and these two players so good, you wonder if a break will make the difference. Maybe that was the break that will help Shannon. We'll find out. See what Parkin has to say about it. A lot. Maybe the best shot she's had out of several. That was massive.
Missy seems to get this ball into the lane a little bit sooner, so it picked up. High flush, great shot. Again, not using much angle at all, keeping the ball more in front of her and allowing the lane to take the ball.
You can see for yourselves how close this match is. Don't be surprised at that, given how great these two competitors are. Julia Bond, the leader in points for the PWBA, awaits the winner. Yep, trip on the 10 and a double for Parkin.
The way the lanes look right now, I would say for Missy, all she'll have to do is just keep paralleling left and keep her ball speed up and just change balls up or down depending on what she wants to see.
Well, the potential for high scores here, 268 and 260 are your maxes. It might be a little early to talk about it, but I don't know. These two are throwing the ball so well. It wouldn't be a huge surprise if we ended up like that. Is that a ball change? Because that's the one shot that did not work out. Take a look at that, Carolyn. Is that a new ball?
I can't tell. It looks the same.
Okay.
You know what I mean? From the angle, yeah, I can't really tell. And
I may well be wrong on that as well, but this is the first non-9 count or better that we've had. And it's a tricky one, although for a professional, a high percentage of them are made, and no trouble there for O'Keefe. That was the first shot. Well, actually, she's had a couple in a row now that O'Keefe that have been a little shaky. One that on the left lane that went left but struck. And then that one on the right, which she may have over-adjusted.
Well, I'm
And,
not even sure she really probably over adjusted. I think, of course we're in our head, we're saying, okay, I missed left. Make sure to just let it drop and get it off your hand. So of course you miss left on the last shot. What do you normally do on the next shot? Miss a little bit right. Because you don't want to miss left, correct? So much better shot.
Oh,
that was a much better shot on that lane, but I'm telling you, every week it's been the left lane. Been the lane.
I am absolutely stunned that shot ended up with a big 4. And Missy Parkin now has control of this match. Shannon, maybe she can get a kick off the back. Nope, she's going to have to absorb a difficult last couple of shots, and all of a sudden her max score dips to 212. And Parkin, who's thrown the ball really well in this opening match.
Yeah, this left lane, it looks as if when you get that ball just a little bit left or a little bit too direct, Shannon's ball is just jumping off the spot on that left lane, where Missy's is a little bit more smoother, and she got lucky with the 4-pin.
Well, the one thing now for Missy is just don't step in a pothole, and she'll be in great shape.
I like that. Don't stop in a pothole.
Yeah, it's good advice, and generally in both when you're driving and even in life. Yeah. All right, she knows. She's happy. She just really, again, just has to avoid disaster, which just befell O'Keefe in the 8th frame with the big 4, and she steps into that same left lane. Now, you look at her on the left lane, though. She has struck 3 times. And O'Keefe will have to finish on that left lane. But right now, this match belongs to Parkin, and she certainly has to have a pretty good percentage of moving on unless she stumbles. Wow, stumbles. I think the only thing stumbling around there were the pins. They got rousted.
I actually thought she got that ball just a little bit left of target. And again, this is where she's going to use her ball speed to her advantage. It held. As the ladies moved deeper on this pattern, there was some hold in. Again, you couldn't move to the right. All the moves were to the left, actually kind of just facing up to the pattern and keeping your angles more in front of you.
Man, a mixed strike that time for O'Keefe on the right lane.
Seems like she moved a little bit deeper, not getting that ball any further right than roughly 12. She did not change balls. I asked Chuck Gardner, the ball rep for...
Well, he would absolutely know if anyone...
Right.
Chuck
and
knows.
Devonite, correct.
Yeah. Well, there's the result in the left lane that she could have used a couple of frames ago. That's a beautiful shot.
Yep. Looks like she also moved in. See how her ball's not getting any further right than about 12? So remember last week when she was in her interview, she made a comment and said, I didn't get deep enough quick. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I didn't get deep enough quick enough. So again, this could be one of those moments where she's saying, aha, what was I thinking? But 10 frames goes by rather fast. We say that every week too.
That's a beautiful, beautiful shot. again for O'Keefe, so she may well indeed get that 212.
And again, this is a big shot right here. Missy is lined up, but you know, you never know, right? She's throwing it pretty well, but again, you want to get all you can to force your opponent to always have to perform.
Well, that's a perfect finish for Shannon O'Keefe. A 212, finishing with 4 straight strikes. And really, you see the frame, and even the 7th frame to an extent, because that cost her obviously in count, telling the tale here. And now Missy Parkin tries to slam the door to move on to face Julia Bond. And Dasha Kovalova is at the top. Bond will be next. Well, she has just rolled it beautifully in this opening game, Missy Parkin.
Now, if I were watching the last few frames of this match, right, and I bring this up because, again, I think this has happened in the last few weeks. I think Missy likes the right lane better right now, is what I'm saying. That doesn't mean it's going to change, not going to change, but right now she likes the right lane. So if I were coming on to the next match, if I'm even close on either lane, I'm making her finish on the left lane.
Now, this is a ball change, as
Yes.
Missy has already locked down the victory in the next match against Julia Bond. And, okay, she'll take the intel out of that and decide what the next move is going to be for the next match against Julia Bond. The top player so far on the PWBA Tour has been Julia Bond. So Shannon O'Keefe will finish in 4th place. A third straight appearance on Bowl TV for Shannon. And for Missy, she moves into the next match against Julia Bond as she got a glimpse trophy that one of these ladies, 3 remaining, will take with them in their carry-on. Carolyn, when you win the trophy, are you a carry-on or did you check the luggage?
Did I?
That's an important question.
Well, I had it shipped. How does that? I had it shipped, or when I had my motorhome, we had plenty of room for the trophy.
Got it. All right. Well, there it is. I'm carrying that on. As a matter of fact, I'm entering the plane carrying that. Like, oh gosh, look what I brought with me. I'm going to let people know, but just a thought. So we have, I understand, Aaron, you've got more bowling ball giveaways. What exactly do you have planned for our viewers today on Bowl TV?
Well, Dave, CDB, we have a Brunswick Knockout. That's going to be our first giveaway of the day. So we're going to have that once we get into our semifinal matchup between Julia and Missy. So a Brunswick Knockout up for grabs. You'll be looking for it. The prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. So we'll leave a message in the chat as well when it's time. All you have to do is hit submit entry. But folks, we do have Shannon O'Keefe ready to join us here. So we'll be bringing her into the broadcast.
All right, can't wait.
In just a moment.
Okay. And there she is. Hey, Shannon. What was the difference in this? Because you certainly couldn't have finished any stronger, but that little stanza in the middle there, what was difficult about that left lane in particular?
So I went back to my bread and butter. So I could just roll it in front of me, and I'm kicking myself pretty hard right now.
Well, unfortunately, you were muted there for a minute, but I agree with you. No, but I heard the ending part, and I said the same thing because you made a comment last week about I didn't get deep enough, quick enough.
Yep.
And it seems like every week one of the lanes becomes the deciding factor. So Do you feel any, do you feel like everybody's always gunning out for you though? When you go into look, it is what it is, I mean, when you're
Yeah.
number one, you're number one. But do you feel like everyone is gunning for you, and does that change your outlook at all?
No, I don't feel that way because I try to only focus on what I can control. What you guys missed was I didn't have the left lane different at all at the end. I ended up throwing a ball the last couple shots in practice, and it came off the spot really quick. So we hit it with some surface to slow it down, and I really, really liked it. So that's what we went with. And as it got lane shine, it just kept hooking, and it kept forcing my feet left. And I didn't want to open up my ankles because that was not good for anybody this week. And so, of course, after I opened, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, O'Keefe? So I grabbed my bread and butter, and I was playing them the same. So I actually... they weren't different. I'm kicking myself for throwing the wrong ball.
That's okay.
So last week,
I mean,
last week I wasn't deep enough, and this week I threw the wrong ball. Woo, go O'Keefe, Team O'Keefe.
Well, you get a little time off to put this behind you, but listen, it's been a nice run. You're making a lot of TV time. I mean,
all you can do is put yourself in position to win, and I feel really good. I'm really confident. I'm really confident in what I'm seeing. I've been successful in all different patterns, and so I'm in a really good place. All you can ever do, I tell my kids all the time at McKendree, all you can do is put yourself in position to win, and from there, it is what it is. And I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason. Like last week, it was just Verity's time to win, and it was going to take me being an idiot playing too far to the right. So it's okay.
But first of all, you're going to be back in the top four again, number one, and you won't make those bad choices again.
That's right.
But the other part of that is, I did mention that. I said things have to go right and get in the line for you to win.
People say all the time, how does it feel to win? And I'm like, it's freaking hard. It is hard to win. It's a grind. It's hard, dirty work. And but I love it.
Well, you're really good at it too, Shannon. Yeah,
well,
congratulations on the week, and we will definitely be seeing you again. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye,
Shannon O'Keefe. Also, she mentioned McKendree, where she and her husband are running that program there, women's and men's coaches respectively, and doing a magnificent job. We are ready for Missy Parkin's next match, and she's running into the top player in the PWBA for 2021, the very talented Julia Bond, and Missy will begin on the left lane.
Okay, so Dave, remember I mentioned this? So now that means Missy will be ending on the right lane. She'll be ending the match on the right lane, which I think is her better lane. But when I asked Julia on our podcast, Kicking Back, last week, she said she doesn't really pay attention to that. That's not a deciding factor. She just gets out there and does her thing.
Well, that's where Missy started. This is not a replay of the first shot of the first match, because she struck on the left lane and made a fist pump, and she does it again.
Right.
So a great start for Parkin. Obviously, we take a look at Julia Bond, who really got hot. First 6 games, she's in 42nd. She's below the cash line. And then she went up 30 places in the second round, and obviously went into second place. So she jumped 40 places to make this show, and there you see why. And one other thing about Julia, she hasn't lost on Bowl TV yet. She is 2 for 2, winning the Bowlers Journal Classic in January and the USBC Queens in May. And this is her 3rd championship round appearance of the season. And as Carolyn mentioned in the pregame, the approaches are somewhat similar. They are not complicated at all. All right, great start for both bowlers.
Playing the part of the lane that she played all week, between that 15 and 22, 23. And just like Shannon said, not a lot of angle out of any of the players, because once you opened up your angles, you got your feet left and the ball right, it either never recovered, or if you missed left, it hooked up. It hooked early. So the angles were smoother, balls with, like even Shannon said, with a little bit of surface to tame out the pattern.
Well, so far, both bowlers pounding pins in the early going in this second match of our step ladder, with Dasha Kovalova awaiting the winner for the championship. And Missy has had some absolute no-doubter strikes today. She has really looked good.
Well, I said early on, I think keeping the way Missy likes to keep things is, again, she likes to keep things simple. And with that ball speed and using that surface, she will just continue to make those parallel moves to the left. She is not afraid to make the moves on the lane when she needs to. And again, ball up or ball down, depending on what she feels she needs to see.
No, not going to get that spot on the 4-pin. The other thing about Missy so far, Carolyn, I realize this is only early in her second game. She's either had a strike or a single pin. She's left nothing else on the deck.
Correct. She has a good look to the pocket. When you're in those games and you feel, hey, I have a good look, my goal is to hit the 1-3. I then need to figure out whether it's with the ball or the hand or my speed, what I need to do to knock all 10 down. So this is great in the fact of she is leaving herself easy spares so she can keep the frames clean.
And I know one of our alert viewers will point out, I believe it was her last shot that she left. I think it was a 2-8, but by then the match had already been decided and she was experimenting with a different ball. So I'm talking about when the lights were on and things really mattered. Missy's either been 10 in the pit or a single pin standing there. And we get a very good look at the equipment that Julia is using. I saw Matt McNeil there from Storm. Matty Ice.
She's using a nuclear cell asymmetrical ball. So again, she's looking to even out the pattern. A little bit cleaner in the front, but gives you that good mid-lane roll with good recovery at the end. But with the surface, just touching it a little bit, it smooths out the back. On that shot, Julia missed left, obviously, because you could see her hand and she kind of gave the gesture. Leaves herself an easy spare. Dave, something that I love to emphasize week to week. I'm going to wait till she shoots the spare, though. I am a little superstitious. Every single lady who bowls on the PWBA tour, when you're in the top 24, top 10, in the top 4 on the live stream show, you have to be a good spare shooter. And that's something I don't think we focus on enough in bowling because everybody likes to see the strikes, especially with the modern game and two-handed bowling and our youth. But if you watch these ladies, there are very few open frames.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Single pins are made. They clean up after themselves beautifully. And you're right. I've seen so many matches that come down to missed single pins or a chop somewhere, as Bond will go a little bit through the nose, as she does not have quite the same look that Parkin has. Now, this is an unfriendly spare. It's obviously a high percentage at this level, but still not one you want to see too often.
Right. She missed way left of target. She was able to get that ball down to about 11, 12 right there. That ball never got right of 13, 14. Ball reads the end of the... Even with Missy, when Missy misses just a little bit to the right, her ball actually picks up and bounces off the pattern, which is why she left the 4-pin. That shot there for Julia, she just missed left. And obviously 3, 6, 10 changes to her spare, shoots right at it.
Yeah, she's missed left 2 shots in a row. Missy Parkin, on the other hand, has had 2 beautiful strikes and nearly another one, leaving a 4-pin behind on the left lane. She switches now to the right lane. Well, Missy is just on form right now, plain and simple. That time a little bit lighter hit, but great reaction.
I like this reaction, and I like the way she's playing the lanes. She is using, again, she's using a stronger ball with surface, tame down the pattern, so when she gets it to the right just a little, and it bounces off the pattern, it kind of rolls out, right? Sets up, and she's been leaving the 4-pin. When she gets it in or she doesn't quite catch it, it still rolls up, has some energy, and she's getting that light shaker. And I'm going to tell you, you need both hits to be able to get that 2 and 3 in a row.
Well, she has that left lane figured out, and she is the one so far of the three boulders that has owned that left lane that you talked about pretty early in the show, Carolyn, as being a trouble, but it hasn't been for Missy.
And right there, she got that ball to about 10 down lane, but again, her ball didn't pop off of it. It also looked like she threw that ball just a little bit harder.
Julia Bond. No, go ahead, please.
I like the show too because the last few shows, you're starting to see more different ball rolls is what I kind of wanted to focus on. Julia, traditionally a little more underneath it, getting around it or rolling through it. Missy, way on the side of it, a little bit more. She has a little more spin through the front, right? Then you have Shannon O'Keefe, who stays underneath it but gets around it. And then you have Dasha, who actually does both, but likes to be a little more underneath it and roll through it. And again, use her ball speed to her advantage. So I like how you see the different games, the different styles, the different ball rolls, and how they actually adapt to the pattern.
Well, that was arguably Julia's best shot so far. She tries to steady after a couple of shaky frames, but clean. Well, that was targeted immediately to the pocket. Gorgeous shot there for Bond as she doubles. And you see Julia Bond in the back. Doing notes the old-fashioned way. Some people use their phones, but Julia's going to pen and paper. That crossed over just a little high, and for the first time when it has mattered, Missy Parkin will have more than a single pin to shoot at.
Looked as if Missy missed a little left. That was way in front of her. And again, ball just hooked to the Brooklyn side. She leaves herself an easy spare. Again, filling frames. This match is close. And she still has a good look on the lanes.
Now you're watching the Stepladder final on Bold TV of the PWBA Louisville Open from Executive Strike and Spare. You just heard Carolyn Doran-Ballard. I'm Dave Lamont. We are in the middle of our second of three matches to determine the champion in Louisville. A little off balance, no problem at all for Missy. And she is clean in this game as well. Parkin defeated Shannon O'Keefe in the first match, and then the defending champion, Dasha Kovalova, trying to become the first woman to defend the title successfully since Liz Johnson in the 2017 U.S. Women's Open. That's how long it's been. It's so competitive out here. And as Carolyn mentioned, the younger talent pushing the veteran talent, that it's hard to do something like that, what Dasha may accomplish tonight.
I think it's very hard. I think it's very hard to defend a title because everybody is like, hey, you're here to defend your title. Hey, you won here last year. I mean, really? We know that. But you have to put everything in perspective and focus on the task at hand, which is, oh my gosh, I have practice session. Oh my gosh, I have to qualify. Oh my gosh, I have to make match play. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. But we talked earlier about the fact of sometimes you're just comfortable in certain situations. And that's what Dasha did. Another good shot by Missy. With that ball surface, ball might just be burning up a little bit where she's leaving that flat 10. If she feels as if she has to fit the ball or start to really manipulate, we will see Missy with the ball change.
So through 7, Parkin without a mistake, and Bond clean through 6, riding a double. After a bit of an icy patch in frames 3 and 4, but she fixed the problem seemingly pretty quickly. And we'll see if she can maintain that momentum. Oh, I don't have an explanation for that. That seems like that's just wrong what happened there.
Another good shot. She has moved a little bit deeper. See how she's got just a little bit of angle. And again, that's just a bad break. I mean,
It is a terrible break.
Stone 7, but again, keeps this game close.
You saw the head pin fail to do its job, and it just sliced right in front of the 7. So just a couple of pins separating these two. And there you see it right there. So who's got the better finish in her bag? And we'll move on to take on defending champion Kovalova, who left this field. Ended up leading qualifying by 274 pins. .44-foot pattern. We did not have a 300 game this week. We had one last year in the final. As you see, our gentlemen who are the proprietors of Executive Strike and Spare. And a mixer strike for Julia Bond on the left lane.
Definitely moving a little bit deeper, getting that ball around 22 down to about 10. No shakiness there. I mean, she just gets up and says, hey, this is what I need. This is what I need to do, and gets up and does it. And here she is writing in her journal, making her notes.
Well, Parkin has to respond with a strike, period. She was into that shot. You see a kick save and a beauty on that 10 pin for Parkin, and a clutch shot there for Missy. She'll finish on that right lane.
Good shot by Missy. See how she gives it just a little bit of angle. Those are her best shots. And again, I think she's had more of them definitely on that right lane. Not that she hasn't adjusted to the left lane. I like the right lane better. Now,
the simplest finish to this match would be if Missy Parkin struck out, she'd win. But nothing's ever simple. You know this is going to come down to the 10th frame and maybe to the final shot. Leaning into that, a lot of body English, and the 9 pin was late, but down it goes.
I think she thought she might have missed just a little left on this shot. I thought we were going to get a replay. Here we are. Very straight in front of her. Did not get that ball as far to the right, and it held.
And she's finished with that lane for this match. Julia Bond now just had a double thrown at her, so she's going to have to throw hands right back.
Another fantastic shot on this right lane. Stone 7 last time, ring 10 on this one.
Yep, the Stone 7 is obscene, and that's just a terrible break for Julia. So once again, late in the match, a break for Missy Parkin, and she certainly earned her lead in this game, but also Julia Bond has thrown 2 beautiful shots that didn't strike, but she can't let up. Keep her concentration on the simple things, which she does. I say simple, making a 10 pin in the 9th frame of a televised match. Not simple, even if you're as talented as she is.
And again, Missy has kept her opponents on their toes. None of these matches have been a give me, number one, but she has kept them on their toes where, hey, I've got a good look. You need to keep up with me. That seems to be her attitude. You need to keep up with me tonight.
That's great.
And again, Julia has that really should be legitimately a 5-bagger, but it's a double with 2 9 counts. So again, these are the little things that change matches that lead to championships.
So Julia Bond Gets the front. She's going to need them all.
Again, just another excellent. Look at how she stays with the shot until the ball hits the pins. That right there is called great leverage and commitment.
That's a great teaching point right there, too, for bowlers who are watching.
Absolutely.
So 224 is the best Julia can do. Okay, she finally got a break on a 10-pin or a single pin that time with a tap from the 6. Missy Parkin's doing the math in her head right now.
Gets this ball just a little bit further right. It got in there a little bit later, but she gets the love tap into the 10. And again, these are the things where I look at and I go, that's a break, right? I mean, it could have stood, match would be over. That's a break because now again, with all 10 here on this final shot, Missy has to mark, right?
Yeah.
So again, all these opponents back and forth. But again, Missy has started these matches and said, I'm here for tonight. And they have had to keep up.
One more time. Well, it's unbelievable because Shannon O'Keefe did the same thing in the prior match, struck out on the left lane to put a little bit of heat on Missy Parkin's shoulders, and Julia Bond does the exact same thing. So 9 strike, and Missy can get a 225, and that would take care of business. Couple strikes really takes care of business. Flush. Wow. She's been so good all night with one match remaining, most likely.
I think Missy is playing this pattern the best. She is keeping it straight in front of her, throwing it harder if necessary. And again, with her rotation, her ball is not reading that pattern early because she's not very rolly. She gets on the side of it just a little bit more. She is the one that I think is going to be hard to beat in this last final game.
All she needs is 5, which she'll get. And the crowd are like, oh, but it's okay. Parkin's got what she needs. And tell you what, Julia Bond, you look back, Carolyn, at this, stone 7, wrap around 10, and then doesn't work for her. Missy Parkin is able to manage once again to make the clutch shots. And again, that one doesn't mean anything at all. So Missy Parkin is in the final to take on Dasha Kovalova. I imagine we'll be hearing from Julia here shortly.
Dasha got 3 shots on each lane. And so this is a perfect time again to stand up, stretch.
And there is Chuck Gardner getting a little camera time, as he deserves.
Before we begin our championship match of our PWBA Louisville Open.
Well, we did expect high scores, right? We said, is this going to be a high scoring telecast? I still call it a telecast. And I think it is. They have not disappointed us, and they've been close matches, which makes it even better.
Yeah, it's been high quality. Missy Parkin has earned these 2 victories. And you say the defending champion, Dasha Kovalova, warming up and getting ready to take on Missy Parkin, who's trying to break through to the winner's circle for the first time since 2011 and has bowled so well all year. But Dasha is a formidable person to take on in this building in Louisville, the defending champion.
Dave, we have Julia Bond ready to join us here. after her third place finish here at the Louisville Open. So we will bring her into the telecast. See, I'm using it too now.
But I still maintain it is a telecast, Aaron. I think you're perfectly legit to say that because this is television. It's just a different style, and it's part of the modern area. Well, Julia, congratulations on the week. Carolyn and I both felt that you got, frankly, ripped off on a couple of shots on the 7-pin, maybe even worse than the ringing 10. But it's just part of the game, I guess. Bad breaks will happen even to people like you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would throw that shot again. Like if you took like that, I would take that shot all day long. You know, execution wise, you know, emotion. Like if I could throw that shot every time, you know, I'd take it. So maybe it happens. That's just, you know, like what you said. That's just the way that the pins literally fall. And you know, I thought that was a well executed game. I got off to a strong start. You know, to start off with the double is huge. And the next few shots were a little shaky, but I think I got right back on top of my shot making. And you know, Carrie, just it is what it is. You know, that's a 224 is quality. I think I'm proud of it.
I liked watching you. I liked watching you, how you adjusted after you went high once on the left lane. I believe you missed was it on the left lane or the right lane? Either way, you went high, just a little high. You missed a little left. Tell us a little bit about your thought process after that. I know the adjustments during the week were basically just paralleling left. You didn't want a lot of angle. So did you think to yourself, hey, just a bad shot, keep doing what you're doing? Or did you make an adjustment?
My gut said that it wasn't necessarily the best shot, but I don't have a lot of time, you know, and I'm playing against Missy Parkin. I can't give her that opportunity to, you know, to kind of like, you know, finagle everything. So I was like, all right, the shot was okay. Physically, you know, again, it was okay, but I think there's better out there. And like what you said, those moves were like parallel. And in my head, I was like, okay, if I make the parallel and I leave a 10 pin, that's not great, but we can work with that. You know, nine instead of like a 3, 6, 10, you know, that's an easy spare to miss and that count's not very good. So, you know, just have to, again, a little bit of risk taking. You know, I had to make a move, you know, even if I thought like maybe I could throw it better, but I don't want to take that chance. What if I did throw it better and then now I'm going, you know, big 4. Can't have that.
And you know, you only have 10 frames. 10 frames is not a long time, and you are throwing it good. You're on top of your game. You know your equipment, and you know the moves you've made all week that are successful. So I think you made the right move. I do think you got a couple of bad breaks that could have been a 5-bagger, but another great week, and you're off to a phenomenal start to this 2021 season. Hats off to you, and we will see you back in the top 4 again.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Julia.
Thanks,
Congratulations on the week. And Julia Bond, your third-place finisher here in Louisville, and now we are set for the championship match.
We're going to get going in our championship match.
And while we're waiting for that, Aaron, I believe you have another giveaway.
I do, folks. So just like the last one, wait for the prompt in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you are in full screen, take it out to make sure you can see the chat. Wait for it to see submit entry. And as soon as we get things going here, all you have to do is click submit entry. We're going to be giving away a RotoGrip bowling ball of your choice. So big thanks to RotoGrip, a proud gold sponsor here on the PWBA tour. So be on the lookout for that after Missy's first shot. We'll start that giveaway up. Good luck, everybody.
Well, again, this is not a repeat. She's going to start on the left lane and finish on the right. And she's 2 for 2 striking on the left lane to start a match. She goes up against Dasha Kovalova, the defending champion and the top seed.
Hey, just out there about the left to the right lane.
She just rips that down the middle of the fairway. There's no, I mean, that was about as straight a shot as I've seen all day. Pure power from Parkin. And again, every time she has started a match with a strike on the left-hand lane. So here is your defending champion. 274 pin lead through qualifying. And she trips out trouble and strikes on 16. This is the pair where she threw the 300 a year ago to win this title to defeat Liz Johnson.
Great shot by Dasha. Again, got it a little bit left. She likes to play, very direct. It's funny. She likes to play very direct, but with her game, I have seen her open up a lane, yet she has said that's not where she's most comfortable. And I find that just so shocking because, just looking at her, I'm like, oh my gosh, your ball's always going to hook. So she'll make a slight move on that right lane. Of course, it is the first shot of the game for the championship. Could be a little bit of the jitters.
Dasha, born in Ukraine, now living in Michigan. And light but strong for Kovalova. Take a second here to mention the rest of the top 12 as we watch her strike again. Brianna Klemmer finished 5th, Liz Culkin 6th, Liz Johnson 7th, Birgit Norix 8th, Kelly Kulik 9th, Diana Zavjalova number 10, Caitlin Johnson 11, and Danielle McEwen rounded out the top 12. And Brianna Klemmer was in a pretty good spot to make this show until Missy Parkin rolled a 259 to close out qualifying today, passing both Culkin and Klemmer. And that was nearly a disaster for Parkin on the right-hand lane.
Almost a disaster, but got the break. Leaving
She
just
did.
the 9-pin. Yep. And again, Dave, I hate to say it, it's early in the match. It's only the second frame, but these are the things that championships are made of. A break here and there. I know everybody wants to say, man, I was a stud for 10 frames all the time. It doesn't happen like that all the time, unless you're Dasha and you shot 300. But it's breaks here and there that help loosen you up a little bit, give you a clean frame, and all of a sudden, you know what? I'm ready to go.
No, ask Julia Bond about breaks. Well, we did just a few moments ago. The look on her face, I would almost think you can make a T-shirt out of that. But I loved her answer, Carolyn. I thought her answer was a championship answer. I would do that shot again. She knows, she understands, and she accepts it. Doesn't like it, but she accepted it. But I thought her answer was tremendous.
Absolutely. It was a perfect answer. First of all, I would take 10 shots like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you'd strike probably 9 of them.
Yeah, but 10 shots like that's going to give you a chance every time to win a match.
Well, she has owned that left-hand lane. That was a lane that gave Shannon O'Keefe some trouble. It gave Julia Bond a little bit of trouble. It has not given the Californian any trouble at all.
Nope, and she is in the right spot. I'm telling you, every time she gets that ball just a little bit right, gives it just a little bit down lane, it rolls up just to the perfect spot, carries all 10, and she's throwing it very good.
Oh, she got a completely unexpected strike. And I think sort of a theme that's emerged from this show tonight, Carolyn, is breaks. Good breaks,
Yes.
bad breaks. That's as good as you're ever going to get.
On the right lane, she tripped 4 in the first frame, made the move, got the ball just a little bit to the right. As you could see, it went down the lane just a little bit further, and she rolled the 2-pin. Remember, Shannon O'Keefe made that comment also. You don't really want to open up your angles because once you started to open up your angles, that ball did not recover from down lane. So you needed to keep everything in front and just keep paralleling left, paralleling left. If I were Dasha on that right lane when she gets back up, I would move my eyes aboard left.
She has 3 in a row. And that one through the nose. So that ends a string of 15 straight strikes over 2 years that she's had in the championship match in Louisville.
Right. And as you can see, she missed a little right on that right lane, correct? Mm-hmm. We saw the same thing with Shannon. She got to the left lane. So you got to remember not to tell yourself, okay, I don't want to miss right. And then, of course, what do? you miss
Yeah.
a little bit left. And she got that one way in of where she's playing, but she got a break, leaves herself the 10 pin. I believe it was the 10 pin.
So she'll have a single pin to fire at. Number 5 in points so far in the race for PWBA Player of the Year. And she will pass Liz Johnson, I believe, although Liz did have a solid 7th place finish. And Missy Parkin is 3rd in overall points. So now Dasha has a win this year, the PWBA Twin Cities Open in April. And who did she beat? That woman right there, Missy Parkin, in the title match. We talked about it in the pregame. It's worth mentioning again. Missy looking for her first win since the Queens in 2011. Has been tremendous all year, making shows consistently, just not winning them. But you just feel like it's going to happen.
And she's very consistent also with her pre-shot routine, what she does before her shots, what she does after her shots. So Missy is a very consistent and methodical bowler. Right here, gets the ball just a little bit. See how it gets down the lane just a little bit further? Doesn't quite make that turn. I like the shots when Missy is a little bit harder with her ball speed. I think the ball conserves a little bit more energy, but she has been rock solid every game and has made the right adjustments. So she knows exactly what to do.
And like you have to do, she makes all of her spares. Want to tell everybody watching that we will have starting in the 5th frame, and we are there now, a Storm bowling ball giveaway. So it's interesting, Carolyn. Missy, this is her 3rd final. She lost the Queen's final, of course, to Julia Bond, whom she just beat. And the other person to beat her this year in the final, she's playing right now, Dasha Kovalova. Be an interesting way to get back in the winner's circle by taking down the 2 people who beat you and kept you out earlier this year.
How's that for a live stream final?
Oh, no. Her first real clunker of the day, and she has a lot of work to do here. I have to believe, Carolyn, that's the first time I know for a fact that's the first time she's missed a head pin.
Yeah, that's the first bad shot. I mean, I know she went Brooklyn that one shot or high. That's going to happen. You know, you miss a little left. That's the first one where she just missed way right and didn't. It just was a bad shot. It is the title match, but Missy is no stranger to the title match. So, And let me tell you, she's a great spare shooter with these washouts and splits.
Get it, and sent the head pin where it was supposed to go. And her first open frame, watch the head pin again, just fly right around the 10. And the 10 pin felt the breeze, but did not go down. So that's the first open frame for Parkin. Again, leaving out cleanup stuff in the 10th when she's already won. And so the defending champion here now has an opportunity to jump with both feet into a good lead. It's funny because Carolyn on that left lane, Missy had thrown 2 beautiful strikes and had really done very well in that lane up until that one shot.
Right, correct. And again, I'm just going to, it happens. This is a championship match. She wants to win because, of course, I know Missy. She's not thinking to herself, oh, I got to win because I haven't won yet since the new tour started. That's not what Missy's thinking. Missy's thinking, again, I said, she's very meticulous. She's very methodical. Missy has a great pre-shot routine. She has a routine after she throws her shot. It was just a bad shot. Could have gotten just a little quick, and she missed it to the right. She will regroup, and you will see 2 better shots out of Missy Parkin.
And a quiet 10 there for Kovalova on the right-hand lane.
Good shot by Dasha. keeping the ball in play at this point. Little bit of that flat 10.
She averaged almost 232, basically 231 and a half in the 24-game qualifying. Her 4th championship round appearance, tied with Shannon O'Keefe and Missy Parkin. And no trouble again, just to point out one more time, the Kovalova trying to do something that the last person to do it in women's bowling at this level was in 2017. The great Liz Johnson, back-to-back U.S. Women's Open. It is, Carolyn has talked about the difficulty of repeating, and it certainly seems that Dasha is in love with this house, and it loves her back.
Yeah, it looked on that right lane like she did make that parallel move, maybe with her feet and her eyes. But again, clean frame, that's what you want to do, especially, and I have to say this, so Dasha may be watching and saying, okay, I wonder if Missy's losing her reaction. I mean, that's coming from the other competitor, right? So filling frames, hitting the 1-3, until you see what your opponent's doing. I mean, you're always trying to get out in front. But again, a clean frame is better than an open frame.
So Missy Parkin trying to get off the deck now after that open. Oof, boy. That's just an awful break. A ringing 10. The shot looks great.
I told you she'd come back, regroup. Great shot, kept this one. That was the angle. This is the angle she has been playing all night. Keeping it in front of her and just increasing that ball speed to keep the angle in front of her. Don't want the angle to get too far away. Again, the carry suffers a little bit when you start to do that. And again, she has used the same ball every game. So she's comfortable, minor changes.
Yeah, she has taken out balls in the 10th frame when she has already won the match just to experiment, but she's gone back to that same ball, as Carolyn mentioned, when it's in the shot counted.
Right.
So she needs, however, a huge finish here against Kovalova, who looks comfortable through 6.
And one of the things Missy has worked on is, because she gets a little more side rotation, she has worked on keeping her hand a little bit more underneath it, keeping that elbow in just a little more. So if she felt like she needed to do that or get on the side of it, whichever she feels, just to be able to kick on that back end with this ball that she's using, she's able to do that.
Oh, a late tap 10. How about that?
Look, just like the second shot in the 10th by Julia Bond right here.
Mm-hmm.
Gets it a little bit to the right, and you can see it gets a little lazy down lane, but the pin that was in the gutter gave it a little smoochy.
Well, just think about it. She had what might have at least been looked like a better shot in the previous frame, and that 6-pin rung around. That one, it hung out, and Carolyn's words, a little smoochy.
Yes.
Wow. Well, Dasha has thrown nothing but quality shots.
Yes, and another great shot. And if you see a lot of these younger ladies, these younger players, you can see just how high their backswing goes, but they don't hold on and grab. As soon as it gets to the top, they wait on it, and then it just drops. And that's something that, especially if you're a younger player watching, one thing you don't want is muscle. You want to let that ball swing from the shoulder. So even though she has a high backswing, it waits and drops. And that's something you really want to focus on if you have a backswing that looks like that. Or you create a backswing like that, is what I should say.
Well, Kovalova's in the driver's seat at the moment. She made sure about that one. That was not one she felt comfortable enough to walk away.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what that's all about, but she looks a nervous wreck shooting her 10 pin. So, if later on I am going to ask her a little bit about that, because if you've noticed, she has put her ball down and reset a couple of times. Another great thing to watch, because if you are not mentally focused 100% and committed to that shot, put your ball down and refocus, because you cannot take the shot back, but
Right.
you can refocus and move forward.
Okay. You could have played count the splits for a moment, because there were 2 or 3 that were standing there. Let's see if we can pick them all out before we ended up with just the 4-pin. There's one. There's another one. You could have had a variety of disasters there, but fortunately she got out of all of that. Most worst thing for her was a 6-7-10 was on the deck there for a moment. So now Kovalova, still though, you can see for yourselves a good lead. This match really turned in the 5th frame when Missy Parkin had a 1-2-8-10 and took a good shot at the 10 with the head pin, but it wrapped around. So Kovalova doing exactly what she needs to do to defend the title. Only 1 strike since the 3rd frame, but single pins. Parkin can max at 225, and looks like she's going to need all of it. Kovalova has a 237 max. Yeah, I think Missy may have to strike out, and she's got to keep the flamethrower on her opponent.
Right
the heat
here,
up.
gets the ball into that swing. Again, Missy's another one with the higher backswing, but waits on it and then just lets it drop. She got all of that one. Great reaction.
So Missy Parkin, who won the first 2 matches, defeating Shannon O'Keefe and then Julia Bond to get to this championship appearance. It is her 3rd of this season. She's been a runner-up twice. Got a turn, and it does. She split that like slicing bread.
I think she got that one way right, threw it a little bit harder. Didn't think it was going to make it. Tickles the head pin and catches the light hit. You can tell on Missy's approach, she's worked on that first step. And as soon as she takes it and gets that ball into motion, everything is smooth. It's one of her best shots.
All right, so Parkin's put down 3 in a row. Oh, a collapsed 4-pin just at the last second, and Dasha gets a huge strike.
Gets this one just a little bit left of but the ball just sits and trips that 4. Boy, that's I had a rep a long time ago say, when you're tripping 4s or you're blowing the rack, you're in the right ball, right part of the lane, doing the right thing. Again, seems like perfection, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Although Dasha is not.
Yeah. So easy. Hey, so easy to say when you're the ball rip sitting there going, hey, you're striking.
That's just a powerful looking shot by Dasha Kovalova and a huge double there.
That was a big shot, very big shot for Dasha. Kept it in front of her. And this left lane, we've seen that light tap. Julia Bond had one. Missy had the light tap and blow the rack. Now Dasha barely tapping out the 10. This left lane is the lane that has been the deciding factor on whether they fall or stand.
If she strikes, she has defended her title.
And she's going to reset.
She's done that a lot on first shots, and you pointed out sometimes on second shots as well. But she has done that where she's put the ball back, rubbed the bowling ball, and then gone into the rest of her routine. So a strike for a victory. Oh, great. That was briefly scary, but she has a very makeable side. I think so.
A little bit.
You know what we're doing here, Carolyn. You know this ahead of before. We're headed for a tie.
Could be.
If she makes this, no, not could be. Here's what we're looking at. She makes this, which I think we both agree she's going to do.
Right.
If Missy goes off the sheet in the 10th, there you go.
Correct. Dasha missed just a little bit left, kept it in front of her, got a little slow. Again, it's the deciding factor of your championship. I mean, you know, you're on, it's that moment that everyone dreams about. Your heart's beating, your mouth is dry, your legs are shaking. So she got a break here with just leaving the 4-7, makes the spare. And we, again, can have the tie with all three in the 10th.
So it's very simple. The first time Missy Parkin doesn't strike, Dasha Kovalova is your winner. If Missy strikes out, then we go to a roll-off.
And I think this is Missy's better lane.
Well, the funny thing is, Carolyn, you look at it here, she's got 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare strike in this game. Anything less than a strike and this match is over. And this match is over. Not her best shot of the day, unfortunately. Dasha Kovalova is the first since 2017 and Liz Johnson of the U.S. Women's Open to go back-to-back championships defending, and it's hit her. And for Missy Parkin, a tremendous tournament. You realize that going into the last game of qualifying, she wasn't on the show. And she rolls a 259 to get in the 4 spot, and she's going to finish second here as Dasha just overcome with emotion. Her second title of the year. She's going to make a jump in the point standings. Missy Parkin, also another great event for her, and a lot to be proud of for Missy. I know she's going to be disappointed with the final result, but a lot of respect between two. This was really great bowling, Carolyn. Everybody bowled well today.
It was a great top 4. Everyone was playing the lanes close to the same. You knew as the lanes broke down, they were going to make the right adjustments as they were watching each other, and it was going to be high scoring. And every match going down to the 10th, that's a nail biter.
Yeah, for our perspective, you can't ask for much more than that. You want that suspense. You want that 10th frame to matter. See if we can pick up the trophy ceremony here. And Jason Utchwall, who is the general manager.
Here, another win. A little bit different from last time. A couple of spares this time. Let's set all the strikes. But great performance. Congratulations.
Hi. I'm crying. It's fun. Well, first of all, I would like to thank, people
get here. I can't talk right now. I'm sorry about that. But, bronze deck gives me bowling balls that I throw. Genesis tape, as you can see, I use it really well. It's holding my mental and physical game together. Okay, sorry. See, I don't know what I'm doing. Buy his inserts because they're great. Thanks, Cecil. He also helped me with my push away. And then chameleon jerseys, because look how nice I look in this shirt, right? Also, big thanks to my bowl reps, Chuck Gardner and John Burrs here. I like to call my mental game dumpster fire, and they're keeping this fire really low this week, so I really appreciate it. And thank you, all of you guys. This means a lot.
Wow. Dasha Kovalova, back-to-back in Louisville.
Thank you very much for coming out and joining us today. As always, be safe, be good, support your sport. Have a good afternoon, everybody. I have one more announcement. Kathy Wonka, I don't know where she is. Kathy Wonka, come on out. Kathy has been my right-hand man out here, and I am so sorry to say that this is Kathy's last event with us, so give Kathy Wonka a round of applause for all her hard work with the PWBA tour. A PWBA champion herself. So give Kathy, thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts. We love you. I wish you all on your retirement.
So Kathy Watka getting some love there from Tennille Milligan.
Thank you so much to everybody who came out. We couldn't do this without you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you again real soon.
Yep. Imagine next year at Executive Bowl where Dasha Kovalova will come back as back-to-back champion. And quite a triumph for her, Carolyn. We talked about high-quality bowling from all four of our competitors. You saw Shannon O'Keefe there. And every time it came down, Carolyn, to one break, it seemed like one frame turned things. With Shannon, she left a big 4. Missy in the last game had a washout. Julia Bond had a stone 7. I've heard of stone 8s and stone 9s. When do you see a stone 7? And yet through all of it, Dasha, just needing only the one game to win, was steady when she had to be.
Absolutely. I mean, it was unbelievable. Every single one of the ladies was lined up to the pocket. They knew what they wanted to do. They made the moves when they needed to. I loved the intense mental concentration, especially in this championship match where you saw Dasha walk off, put her ball down, regroup. But again, this is where you see sheer talent of repeating shots and just at times filling frames. My gosh, you would think I was eating or doing something while I'm here. Filling frames and getting ahead of your opponent and making them catch up. Missy did that in the first couple of matches, and then Dasha changed it over.
I believe Dasha is standing by, and let's see if we can swing our feedback to Louisville and talk to our now 2-time defending champion. Dasha, first off, congratulations. Why is this so emotional for you?
I don't know. I think it's because, like I said, I've been very anxious, and the past couple of events are not great, and I'm looking at the distance because I try not to cry really hard.
That's okay.
Cry
you
away.
can.
Cry away.
Well, they need to know that I'm tough, But I've been very anxious all week because, defending champion, this is my building and stuff like that. And I don't even know why I'm so emotional. I guess I just, despite me being nervous and not knowing what to do and wanting to, hide somewhere and cry, I did the thing.
Well, have you thought about moving to Louisville, Dasha, perhaps? Just taking up, finding at least a summer, a place here in the off season,
Yeah, you can find me right there in lane 15 and 16. That's right.
Dasha, it's funny because I made a comment. Do you remember us talking in Reno? And I said earlier in the show, I talked to her and I just love her and she's so talented. Yet I talked to her and she says, I'm just around such good bowlers, and I can't believe I know Hall of Famers. And I'm thinking, honey, you are a PWBA champion. You are it. And you need to just walk that walk. And I remember saying that to you. So let me ask you, you have now won again. Do you believe you belong, that you are a great champion?
I guess.
Okay.
Fine, I guess.
I'm sorry.
Believe it.
Oh, come on, hop on the bandwagon, please. I mean, because it's this today, the way you swapped the whole momentum of, Missy had been on top and she was showing her opponents, I'm here to win. And you came out, boom, boom, boom. That should tell you something about what you have inside of you to move forward and win many more championships.
A mess. I have a mess of a mental. Yeah, I don't know. See, I can't talk right now because I'm very happy. And
Well, that's okay. Congratulations.
thank
Well,
so
you are
much.
you are a worthy champion, whether you believe it or not. You are a worthy champion.
Thank you.
And congratulations on doing something that hasn't been done in 4 years, which I'm sure was brought up. Winning back to defending a title. Liz Johnson was the last one to do that in 2017. So you and Liz now have something in common. That ain't bad.
Why do I set all my important records in Louisville?
That is something that will come to you in the middle of the night. You'll bolt up and you go, "That's what it is," and then you'll fall back asleep.
That's
Well,
what
when you win championships, when you win more than one championship, which you're doing, you're going to have favorite bowling centers, and you're going to continue to go back to them.
I love it. I wanna go to Louisville again.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a fun city. Well, again, congratulations. Celebrate this one and enjoy it. And we're really happy for you. Congratulations on your
Thank
second
you
win
so
of the
much.
year.
Thank you.
Dasha Kovalova, your winner again in Louisville at Executive, and she defeats Missy Parkin in the final. Another great performance as well for Missy Carolyn. And thank you once again. We'll do this again in a few weeks.
Absolutely. I love this. Love
So
seeing
do
you
I.
once a week there, Dave.
Yeah, it beats having a job, which I don't really have. So that's going to be all for Carolyn and I. I certainly want to thank everybody from Bowl TV, all the folks who are on the ground, as well as Aaron Smith back in Central, and Jason and everybody there, Jason Thomas. We're so grateful for all of your help. We want to make sure we thank the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC Board, the PWBA athletes whom you saw compete, 4 really, really good ones today, for putting on another great show. All of you who watch Bowl TV, whether you catch our pregame on YouTube or Facebook, or you're watching anytime the ladies are on the lanes, and we're so grateful for all of your support. So for all of us at Bowl TV, for CDB, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you and good night. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here. Good night.